Hi everyone, in this quick video I hope to show you how to take the pictures necessary to turn those pictures into a 3D model. And so the history class Holy Cross will take care of the modeling process for you. That being said, the program we will be using to stitch these images together into a 3D model is free. So if you want to experiment with Zephyr 3D as well, you can. Just make sure you don't commit to the full version because it's several $1,000s. Okay, so how this technique works essentially is we put an object like this cat in the center of a table, and you want to make sure that you can walk around the table with relative ease, and you want to make sure that you can walk around that as you go around in a circle that you're equidistant from the object itself. So essentially what we need is 30 to 45 pictures from the same basic angle but progressing around the circle. So as you notice, I have lots of room around the outside of this desk to walk around, and all I would do is I would take about a half step and take a picture right here, and I would take another half step, take a picture, another half step, and take a picture. And I would keep going like this for about 40 to 45 pictures. And you notice too that I'm trying to keep the angle of the camera the same, and I am also using the landscape view, so that just makes it easier for us to get the entire object into the frame. You'll notice too that there's a bit of shadow on the desk to the right of the object right now. We want to make sure that the light is as uniform as we can, and right now in my classroom, which isn't great, but when you take these photos, try and make sure that the lighting is really consistent. If you see one of your classmates is standing over the object and kind of blocking the light, you definitely want to get that student to move out of your way. So you're going to continue moving around, taking a picture every step or so. I'm moving just a little faster than you will probably be moving, simply because I don't actually have to take those photos, right? But you can see I'm trying to keep the cat more or less in the center. One way of thinking about this is the program that is going to stitch these together. It requires 80% similarity between photos. That means that the photo I take here has to be 80% similar to this one in terms of what is actually in the shot, right? So that gives you an idea of how small your steps have to be. I think we worked out the math to be 9 or 10 degrees. Every 9 or 10 degrees you're taking another shot. So I would progress all the way around this object to get all those photos, and in the next bit of this video I will show you what we actually do with all these photos. Okay, so I'm going to show you now how we actually bring all these pictures together, and unfortunately I left the pictures of the cat on my other computer, so we'll just have to use these ones. So these are all photos of a statue of Hatshepsut, who was a pharaoh in ancient Egypt. And so right now I'm just showing you is the different images, right? And you can see here that in the background we have kind of all these dots, right? And so what the program does is you put all these images in there. You can kind of see the images around here. There's those little blue icons around here. And so there's kind of the circle that I followed when I took these pictures of this object. And these little dots represent the 3D object that the program is going to build, right? So it kind of triangulates where all these dots are located by kind of cross-referencing points in the pictures, right? So I'm gonna get rid of that stage, and then the next stage it takes those and makes those into a dense point cloud. So you can see right now it already looks a lot like a 3D model, but when you move it, you can actually see it's still a point cloud. So at this point, what it's basically done is taken all those dots and created denser versions of those dots, kind of figured out what was missing in between those dots to make the shape. And then the last stage is this one where it actually makes the model itself. And even at this stage, it looks really, really good. It's a fairly rough statue anyway. But the final product, when it's actually released or published, has a textured mesh on it
and it looks remarkably like the real statue. So that's basically the process we are going to use to take the images that you send us to make those 3D models. And so the next step, all we have to do is export this model and put it online, and I'll show you what that looks like in just one sec. So now we are in Remix 3D, which is an online service from Microsoft, and I'm just going to show you what that model looks like. So you can see here that we have a few other models as well that we've added. Here is the model of Hatshepsut. We just wait for this to load. There we go. So I can go full screen and I can zoom in, and you can see that it's actually very high quality. So that's exactly what the stone actually looked like. You can see the individual textures on there and where the stone has come off. Now you notice too there's a few weird artifacts. Right here, this is a place where I just didn't scan properly, so you can see the impact that might have. You can see here too that clearly this statue was taller than me. I couldn't actually get the top of the head in the camera shots, so the top of the model is incomplete. But as for the rest of the model, it's incredibly detailed and accurate, right? So a few other reasons why we use this kind of tool is because through Remix 3D, because it's connected to Microsoft, it's very easy to do all sorts of things with this. You can actually open it directly in Paint 3D, which is on every Windows 10 computer, and I think it's on every school computer as well, so you can actually interact with that object in that way. You can actually use mixed reality too, so if you've got, let's say you're on a laptop, and you want to view this in mixed reality, this will show you the object next to you, and it'll do that by using the webcam built into the to your laptop that sits just above your screen. And so you can actually see this object next to you in real space, which is pretty cool. You can actually download these objects and put them directly in Microsoft Word, off PowerPoint, and even Excel. So you could actually do documents with 3D models that you can spin and move, which is pretty darn cool.